Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Coffee with Chase, episode 22. I am your host, Chase. If you're a returning listener, thank you very much for joining me for another lovely episode. If you're a new listener, thank you very much for clicking on this very episode, sitting down, and listening to my nonsense. If you haven't already, please make sure to hit the subscribe or follow button, depending on which platform you use to consume the show. The show is available on both Spotify and YouTube. Also, make sure to like, share, and subscribe, and also click on the notification prompts on both platforms to be notified every time I upload a new episode. Oh, wait, you're telling me you already did that? So there was no need to remind you? Well, that was awkward, but thank you for being one step ahead of the game and one step ahead of me. And with that, let's get right into the show. So, here we are, a continuation of last week's episode 21, and I implore you, if you haven't already, to go back and listen to episode 21 after you finish this or before, however, depending you want to listen to it. But I'm going to give you just a quick, brief rundown, because in last week's episode, I had told you guys that I had been diagnosed with COVID. I've been going through all the routines, protocols, isolations, different situations, everything that there was. And, I was really hoping to come to you guys this week, really back to full health, but, certain circumstances had happened, and it was really tough for me to sit down and make this episode, because I wish I was back to full health, because I'm not. And it's definitely scary, because a few days before my isolation had ended, I was suffering some severe chest pains, and these are some pains I've never really felt before. So I was very weary, very nervous, and very scared, because how do I deal with something I've never experienced before? And I know with a lot of things going on and everything having to deal with COVID, that's the general question, is how do I deal with things that I don't know what's going on? And so I reached out to my primary, and they're like, okay, take these medications to help you, to help assist you with these aches that you're feeling, and hopefully within the range that these medications take, that hopefully it's taken care of. And so after a couple of days, I was generally feeling a little better. But then I think there was a Monday morning, I was going back to work. This was my first day back to work after isolation, so I was very nervous, excited, but generally happy to get back to a hopefully normal routine. But I woke up that morning around 3 a.m. with severe chest pains, and when it wakes you up out of your sleep, you're like, okay, what the hell is going on, and how do I take care of this? And so I woke up at 3. I didn't start work until 9, so this was very scary for me, because my first thought was, how am I getting back to sleep? Am I going to be able to sleep, or is sleep not an option? And so I woke up, went downstairs, trying to deal with the chest pains, trying to figure out what I can do, and just taking care of the problem for the most part, just by taking Tylenol, ibuprofen. And I essentially went back to sleep for maybe like 30 minutes. That was it. Out of that whole night, I probably got like 4 hours of sleep. And essentially, I had to just wake back up, get ready for work, and hopefully not have to deal with these chest pains anymore. But little did I know, I was going to have chest pains the whole day. And like I said, I started work at 9. And so it got about to be 3 hours into my shift, and I noticed these chest pains were getting severely worse. So my thought was, okay, red alert, let's ask your boss if you can go home and hopefully take care of these things. And so, thank God he was fully understanding and completely okay with the situation, with me going home, getting better, and hopefully taking care of this. And so I was like, okay, cool, thank you. I really appreciate it. But I went home. I immediately called my primary because I'm like, okay, what do I do next? I don't know what to do. These pains are just getting worse. And so I am completely scared. And I explained to them the situation, what was going on. And they were, very helpful, I should say. And they told me, prior to this, if things don't get better, go to the ER and they will take care of you and hopefully figure out what the situation was. And so, like I said, I called them and they explained to me, it'd be best for you to go to the ER now, go get it checked out, and, figure everything that's going on. So I thought, okay, I'm very scared because it's just me and I have nobody else to drive me. And I was very scared to ask somebody because I'm never the type of person that really like to ask for help. I'm not the type of person that likes to receive handouts, get help, any of that certain type of things. But since everyone knows I love Adam Sandler, and this is an Adam Sandler friendly podcast, you'll catch this reference I'm about to drop. But if you've ever seen the movie Click with Adam Sandler in it, he has essentially a universal remote that allows him to fast forward, pause, rewind, press play, slow-mo. And boy, would I have loved to have this universal remote right now so I can just click, click, boop, like fast forward, rewind, pause, skip past the first couple weeks of January because, like I said before, me, my loved ones, and the first couple weeks of January do not mix because shit has been hitting the fan and I don't know how to mentally take care of all these things, and I don't know how to mentally take care of myself right now. But since it's also a mental health friendly podcast, I wanted to just let you guys know what was going on. Anyways, back to the story. I was very nervous because I didn't have anybody to drive me, and these chest pains were just getting worse. And my shortness of breath was there too because, I'm worrying, trying to catch my breath too. And then not being able to catch my breath is making it 10 times worse. And so I thought, okay, I'll have my girlfriend drive me, but she's at work right now. And thank God they were able to let her go. And then she was able to drive me. And so this part was very scary for me because this was my first ever ER trip, ever being in ER by myself for a medical emergency or for anything that needed to get done. So yeah, this was definitely scary because I've never experienced an ER before. I don't know what protocols are like, what procedures are like, and what anything else is like going on. And especially being in, the COVID world right now is very scary because of COVID regulations, they only allowed one person in the ER per party. So when I got there, the nurse checked me in. She's like, okay, if this person is a guest and with you, they have to leave now because we don't allow more parties of one. I think that's a proper verbiage, but I was like, oh shit, because as you guys know, my anxiety is always through the roof. And you can only imagine the amount of stress I was putting myself through with worrying about chest pains, shortness of breath, and then not having the support figure there because I've never been in the ER before. And so immediately I thought, things are going to be okay. I'm going to be seen, hopefully be in and out within a couple hours max at a time. And little did I know this was going to be an all-day thing. Because like I said, this day started at 3 a.m. when I woke up feeling chest pains. Had to go to work at 9 a.m. Felt chest pains even worse. And then at 12 when I just couldn't bear it anymore. And then at 1 o'clock, when I had to go to the ER. And so we arrived at the ER around 1:30. And like I said, I didn't know it was going to be an all day thing. And 1:30 turned into, I think 3:30. 3:30 turned into 4:30. And essentially I wasn't being seen, and I completely understand now, like, there's procedures, there's a list, there's medical reasons and all those different things, and I completely understand it. I'm not complaining in any which way, but I didn't know any of those things that were going on because, like I said, first ever ER visit. And so I'm like, I'm getting very tired. I'll take a nap in this lovely, comfy hospital chair in the ER. And I dozed off for maybe, I would say 30 minutes. And when I woke up, when I tell you this was one of the worst naps I've ever taken in my entire life, because my neck hurt so bad from sitting at an angle and having get draped over one of my shoulders, or, but it's like, oh my God, I woke up in even more pain. I'm like, motherfucker, like that was a bad decision. And so I woke up, kink was in my neck. So I'm like, oh crap. Okay. And so I thought, do I have any cash on me to get something from the vending machine and, hopefully eat lunch or something? Because at this time I was only worried about getting rid of these pains, getting rid of what I was feeling. And so I didn't eat lunch. I didn't pack anything with me in the ER to snack on. And trust me when I tell you, I never carry cash on me. I am only a card person. So luckily, by the grace of God, I had singles and a 5 on me in my wallet. So I'm like, hallelujah. I was able to buy some snacks and buy some drinks to help me get through a couple hours and eat something worth of substance, I like to think. I mean, I only had like a Hershey's bar and a Snickers bar, but it gave me a little, full feeling. But still, like, I never carry cash on me. So just for this one instance that I did, it came in handy. And so, like I said, 4:30 I woke up from my nap, went and got something from the vending machine, and this was probably one of the most scariest moments to me so far in my life. Not getting things from the vending machine, not that, but just sitting in the ER and playing this waiting game, because, like I said, I didn't know anything that goes on in the ER because I've never been there before. And to all the nurses and doctors and EMTs and, I'd say, policemen and security that works in the ER, thank you so much for what you do during this time, because if you guys all didn't function at your best, everything would go haywire. And the amount of work and support and love you put into your job, taking care of others and figuring out what's wrong and what's helpful with everybody and taking care of everything, the world would be lost without you. But, back to the story. Like, over the first couple hours, they took me back just to get chest x-rays, blood work, EKGs, just to, get these tests done to help figure out and speed up the process of what's going on. And so, like I said, it was maybe 5:30. I was eating something. Fast forward a little bit, and, we get to almost 7:30. Like I said, I've been there since 1:30, 1 o'clock. So it's been easily a 6:30, 6.5 hours, 7-hour wait in the ER alone. So I'm like, okay, is this going to be an all day thing, or am I going to have to stay overnight, figure things out? But luckily, I believe it was at 7:30, they finally called me back to get the room, get me situated, and tell me what was going on. And like I said, it was a Monday night, and for those of you who don't know, I'm a huge wrestling fan, WWE, Monday Night Raw, Friday Night SmackDown fan. And so my only worry and the only thing that was really getting me through the night was, my goal of watching Monday Night Raw. And Monday Night Raw starts at 8 o'clock. So I'm like, okay, it's cutting very close to Raw. And, I just wanted to watch it to just alleviate the stress a little bit on myself, off of my mental, and just put me in a better mindset. And so I, got called back around 7:30. And so I'm like, cool. I at least get to watch Raw, see what's going on, follow what everything was, follow everything that was going on. And so, they brought me back. They told me to just, put the gown on. They hooked up some things to me, put the heart rate thing on, put the pulse on my finger. I don't know. I have no idea what the names are for monitors, for little things. So please excuse me. I'm not medically inclined to, answer those things. But yeah, they were just hooking me up to a bunch of different things. Just making sure everything was steady, everything was normal. And it maybe took, I would say, half an hour, 45 minutes to be seen again by the nurse practitioner. And, she came in, was doing everything she can. And she told me, you seem to be doing okay. Everything was in normal range. So there wasn't really any cause for concern. But she was explaining to me that because I'm feeling the chest pains that I am, this is in fact due to COVID, because at the time, this is going around to many, many of people. And, I'm not really the only one experiencing these type of pains, because COVID is affecting millions of people worldwide. And, it's very hard to narrow in on a certain cause, but this is the certain cause, is COVID. And the PA eventually got back to me, came back into the room and explained to me, everything, like I said, everything was normal. Everything was everything normal range, nothing cause for concern. They essentially just told me, keep doing what you're doing, keep taking the medications your primary prescribed you, and, just keep drinking lots of fluids, getting lots of rest, stretching, breathing, different exercises to help me figure out and help me cope with these pains that I'm feeling. So I'm like, okay, thank you very much. I really do appreciate all the help you guys have been giving me. And this was just a very scary moment because, like I said, first ever ER visit, first ever emergency room visit, and it was scary to say the least. But they gave me an extra strength shot of ibuprofen in my arm, and that helped for maybe the night. And then I woke up the next morning and it hurt, to be honest, but it wasn't anything that wasn't manageable. And they gave me a excuse from work notice for a couple of days. So I'm like, okay, I get a couple of days to rest, figure things out. And yes, I did get to watch the first couple hours of Monday Night Raw, and then I was discharged. So luckily I was a very, very, very lucky enough person to not have to stay the night, not have to stay multiple days in the ER just to help me deal with COVID. So I'm very, very grateful for that, because I know a lot of people are struggling right now, struggling to get better, struggling to get past this. So, if you or someone or someone they know that are struggling to get through this, I promise and I pray to God that things will get better, because I hate going through this. I know a lot of people hate going through this, and I know times are tough, but things will get better. I do promise you that. But like I was saying, I got to see first couple hours of Monday Night Raw, so I wasn't highly disappointed. And the next morning I woke up with pains that were manageable, but were okay. So I got to, take care of those, spend a couple days off of work, and it just felt nice being able to relax and ease the pains that were there. And as I'm recording today, January 14th, I just finished my full day back at work, and right now I feel absolutely incredible. Like, the pain, I had some pains, but they were very manageable. I didn't have to take, a shit ton of Tylenol or ibuprofen to help me get through the day like I have been. So that was a relief in and of itself. And, I'm just very grateful that, like I said before, my boss was so understanding and so, welcoming me back, and that he's like, okay, do whatever you have to do just to get better, because right now it's the number one concern is your health, not getting back to work, but just figuring out what's wrong, how to get better, how to get past these things, and just being very adjustable, be very welcoming. And it was nice because I was so concerned having to ask him if I can do these certain things and take certain amount of time to just recalibrate, re-stretch, regain my breath. But I was so incredibly grateful that he understood and was acknowledging of, what was going on and acknowledging of the situation. So, I'm going to be forever grateful for a while, because I know this type of situation will be ongoing. And if it is, I will let you guys know what goes on, because like I said, when I was talking to my doctors and the PAs, they said this type of situation can last from a month to a couple to even 6 months. Like, we have no certain timetable or range that we can permanently give you in stone that it will eventually go away, because right now we're living in a world that's so scary and so unbelievable that, symptoms that you are feeling and certain ways you are feeling may not go away for X amount of time. And to me, not having a concrete answer is very scary, because like I said, these are pains I've never dealt with before and I never knew how to deal with before. But just having some light at the end of the tunnel, I think, is helping me understand the situation, understand what's going on. I am so happy and so glad, but just finally having one day to essentially get back to normal and essentially find that normalcy again has been so alleviating after, going through quarantine, going through isolation. It's just relieving. That's all I have to say, is relieving. But like I said, it just felt good getting back to work, getting hopefully back to a sense of normalcy. And like I said before, if you or anybody that is going through this right now, just be there for them. Let them know that you will do whatever you can to hopefully take care of them, get them whatever they need to get better, because you don't want to see a friend, a loved one, or a relative down and out for multiple weeks at a time dealing with this, because this can affect anybody and everybody, even if you're honestly the most careful person in the world. So I'm telling you, please just be careful, look out for one another, and stay safe, because during this time, yes, it is very scary, very dark, and very hopeless. but there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and there will always be a light at the end of the tunnel. So we all just got to come together at the end of the day, stick together, be one, and just come together for a loved one, a brother, sister, family member, and just take care of them. So, like I said, I'll keep you guys updated as if there's any other developments in this story, in this ongoing story of me dealing with COVID. Like I said, this is a part 2. So if you haven't, go back and listen to part 1 now, and hopefully this will all make sense after you listen to part 1. So, I'm sorry I had to give you guys another update, but this is a completely ongoing story and will be for a while now. But, I just really appreciate you guys sitting down and listening to me tell the second part of this story. Welcome back, everybody, to the Bills Backer Corner, where we provide predictions, projections, and potential spoilers to the upcoming Buffalo Bills game. Now, last week, I came to you guys and said the Bills were going to win the wild card round with a total score of 32-21 against the Indianapolis Colts. Now, little did I know this game would provide so much heartache, so much heart palpitations, and so much just overjoyous, momentous occasions that it would be all balled up into one. Now, the game ended with a total score of the Bills winning against Indianapolis Colts with 27-24. Now, during this game, it was very back and forth. The Bills were up at one point by 2 touchdowns, and I thought, okay, the Bills had a comfortable lead. They had this going. They had it in the bag. And luckily, by the grace of God, there were some mistakes by the Colts that were made in which the Bills were able to win this game. And in typical Bills fashion, there was a play at the end of the game that almost gave me a heart attack when I saw it happening, because my mind went back to the Hail Murray play against the Arizona Cardinals in Arizona. And if you, a Bills fan, remember that game and remember what happened, Kyler Murray rolled out and he launched one of the most beautiful Hail Mary passes that you could have ever seen in an NFL game. And the Arizona Cardinals DeAndre Hopkins of the Arizona Cardinals caught the pass and scored the touchdown to beat the Buffalo Bills. So my mind went back to that game and watching Phillip Rivers of the Colts roll out and bomb a pass to the end zone to potentially dash the Bills' hopes of continuing in the playoffs. My thought was, oh God, it's happening again. But luckily, by the grace of God, it was deflected by Bills safety Micah Hyde, and the Bills secured their first ever home playoff win in over 25 years. And I yelped, screamed, gasped, an overjoyous celebration, and I couldn't believe my eyes and what was going on, because I have never experienced anything like this in my Bills fandom to date. But coming up this week, let's get into the predictions. The Bills are facing off against the Baltimore Ravens in the divisional round of the AFC playoffs. Now, this game is on Saturday, January 16th. It has a start time of 8:15 p.m. So we have a prime time late night game in Buffalo with potential snow fall. And, my prediction is one that I am very scared to make, because This game can go any way possible because the Ravens have been coming into their own over the past multiple weeks. They have been looking like the Rams of last year when Lamar Jackson won the MVP. And I am very scared. I'm very scared, but hopeful at the same time to make these predictions. I'm predicting the Bills win this game, but like I've said over the past couple weeks, not by much. Both defenses have been astounding. Both offenses astounding, coming into their own over the past couple weeks and looking like they should have looked at the beginning of the year. So, here we are. The meat you have all come for. My prediction is the Bills win this game with a total score of 24-21. Another nail biter. But this game, like I said, it's going to be very close. And my projections are Josh Allen will have to lock down and keep focused and not make mental mistakes, because the Bills offense suffered I would say tremendous loss, but a very important loss in running back Zach Moss for the rest of the season. And he has been a very key important role in the red zone, helping us score run-in touchdowns and help with ever what possible. And, I'm very scared. I hate to say this, but yes, I am very scared because this game can go any which way. And, our defense has to be very stout because this Ravens offense is very scary, because if we can't control the Ravens running game, the Ravens have a third running back. And I'm not talking about on their running back depth chart. I'm talking about their quarterback, Lamar Jackson, who can pass and run the ball. He is a dual threat quarterback that can go off at any which moment possible. So I'm projections. I'm projecting Lamar Jackson to have another phenomenal game, just like last week against the Tennessee Titans, which he had over 100 yards passing and over 100 yards rushing. This is something the Bills have always struggled with, was dual threat quarterbacks. So if we can hopefully focus on just strictly forcing Lamar Jackson to pass the ball, control the run, we could potentially spoil the Baltimore Ravens season. I would love to see that happen. And hopefully it does. And hopefully the Bills can go into the AFC Championship game against the Kansas City Chiefs. But right now, we have to focus at the task at hand. We have to focus on the Baltimore Ravens. But like I've said, the Bills can win this game. The Bills will win this game. But the Bills will not win by much. The Bills will win. Our Buffalo Bills will win Bills Mafia by a total score of 24-21. Let's go Bills, baby. Bills Mafia. We got this. The city of Buffalo has your back, Buffalo. Buffalo Bills. I'm sorry. But we got your back. There's going to be fans in the stands once again. So Bills Mafia is behind you. As always, with that, I just want to say thank you for joining me for another week, another episode, and another vent session. The fact that you made it this far with me is outstanding. I really am forever grateful. Here's to happy health, mental depression, and anxiety awareness, and an overall feeling of hopefully self-empowerment. If you enjoyed what you listened to today, make sure you go back and listen to our catalog of episodes. Make sure you subscribe on both platforms, Spotify and YouTube. Also, hit the notification prompts so you're notified every time I upload. Also, please make sure to remember to like, share, and subscribe if you enjoyed what you listened to today, and share the show with anybody you might think might enjoy it. I will talk to everyone next week. Remember to always remind yourself, you made it this far, You're doing the best you can, and things will get better. I love everyone. I will talk to you next week. All right, bye.